Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacineSportsZone.com. Time to talk a little high school football here in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from the Wendy's Big Show, weekday afternoons on AM 1250 and 105.7 FM The Fan. He, of course, is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. All right, Gary, so let's first start off with a game that I know many of you may not care about, but it was a big deal to me. Racine Case scores with 2 seconds left. 2 seconds left to beat Park. Again, that was scoreless to the fourth quarter, Gary. And a team, it was a battle of two bad teams. I get it. But either way, somebody's got to win, and Case gets their first win of the year.
Not necessarily. They could have ended up in a scoreless tie.
That would have been horrible.
I really thought that.
No, there had to be an overtime.
Those are two. Well, I mean, let's face it. They're two programs that are really struggling at this point in time, and neither one has showed any kind of offense. I saw Park earlier in the year, and they got some nice players offensively, and I'm a little surprised that they haven't developed, more as the season has gone on. But what can you say? I mean,
look. Anytime
they're two bad teams playing each other,
regardless of how bad they are.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, elementary, middle school, high school, college, adult in the pros, you win a game with 2 seconds left. And you're down, and you have to score a touchdown to win, and then this extra point by Park is the reason why it didn't go to overtime.
Correct.
That made it 6, which that's still a big deal for kids. And, we don't really talk normally about Case or Park normally on these videos.
No.
So, good job. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And it was a competitive game by competitive standards.
Yes.
Okay? And it goes down to the wire. But, outside of those two schools, I'll be frank about this. Nobody cared.
Well, I cared. That's all that matters. As long as I care, y'all can figure it out the rest of yourself.
Those programs are struggling big time.
Okay, Horlick, are they pretenders or contenders? And I don't know, because Franklin took it to them, right?
You know what? I thought they were, even though, what was the final score? I forgot what the final score was. They lost by about 24 points or whatever. They were competitive. I mean,
they gave up 14 in the second and 14 in the third. It was 28-0, I think, was the final.
Something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, they were competitive, though, and that's what I personally was looking for. Not that they came out and got blown off the map right away in the first quarter.
Right.
And saying, hey,
you knew their defense would try and keep them in the game as long as they could.
Right. And they did. So, I mean, that's got to be very encouraging to Horlick. That's saying, hey, Franklin is clearly the cream of the Southeastern Conference crop.
Well, it doesn't get any easier because now you got Oak Creek. Now you get Oak Creek.
They do. We talked about this a little bit last week. They have a tough schedule.
Yes.
Then I think after Oak Creek, they have Indian Trail, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Indian Trail's
Well, Indian Trail this week has Franklin.
Correct.
And that's the battle for first in the Southeast between these two.
And if Kenosha Indian Trail loses, they could have a letdown when Horlick comes in.
Sure,
they catch him. The timing could be right for them to beat him.
Right.
But this is a huge game for Horlick. I mean, their playoff aspirations are on the bubble right now. So they got to steal a win somewhere along the line. They're going to beat Park in the final game of the season, but one of these next two games, they got to win.
Yeah, it is a big game, no question. So that's the Southeast Conference and how that shapes up locally here. And then, of course, in the Southern Lakes, Waterford just continues to steamroll people. You put them in front of Waterford, they steamroll them, kind of like Burlington Catholic Central is doing as well. Waterford looks to be the team to beat in the Southern Lakes.
Oh, Waterford, every week I'm like a broken record, but I think Adam Bakken is just
doing a great job.
A special head coach.
Yep.
It's not easy to consistently be the best team in that conference. Right. Badgers coming at you, Burlington's coming at you, a couple other teams are coming at you. And what he has done is shown that their program is at an elite level, on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
that's not easy to do.
If you look at the standings, Waterford 4-0 in the conference, and then it's Wilmot 3-1, Lake Geneva Badger 3-1, Union Grove 3-1, and then there's Burlington at 2-2. Now, next up, Waterford is at Union Grove this week.
That's the game.
And Union Grove's an upstart program with a new coach.
Yeah, and Union Grove, if I'm not mistaken, is 3-1, right?
Correct. Yes.
So, theoretically, if they can upset Waterford, they're back in the conference mix.
Absolutely.
For the title, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas if Waterford wins, and of course, it's the inevitable showdown with Badger in the season finale. But the thing that's impressed me about Waterford?
What?
Is their offense. I mean, we always know that Waterford is going to have a great defense. But this year, their offense is putting up points. I think there's been 3 games where they've scored 34 points or more.
Do you know what they're averaging for the year?
I'm guessing it's got to be low 30s.
30 points per game.
There you go. Yeah.
That is a lot of points for a high school football
for
team.
a Waterford team, it is.
Right. Normally, it's all defense and not a lot of offense.
Absolutely. And, and the other thing about Waterford is they're shuffling in a lot of guys at the running back spot. They've normally had like one stud running back. This year they got 3 guys.
It's all about quarterback play with Waterford this year, right?
Well, the running back game, Ben Michalowski has been their go-to running back, so he's kind of carried them.
Sam Allen at quarterback, too.
And the thing about Allen, and nobody's talking about this, is he has done a great job of protecting the ball. I think he's got 7 touchdown passes, just 1 interception.
Right.
And if you have that kind of ball security plus a good running game, you're in business.
Yep.
This team has a chance to be very special.
So let's see what Waterford does this week. Obviously against Union Grove, and then Metro. St. Cat's lost. They're 2-2 now. They lost to Shoreland Lutheran. St. Joe's is the team right now, sitting at the top of that conference. They've yet to lose in conference play. And Burlington Catholic Central rolling along too. They killed Dominican.
Well, I mean, again, St. Catherine's is a big game this week. They play Martin Luther, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Martin Luther is like 3-1, but the following week, St. Catherine's has Catholic Central
at St.
So
Cat's,
I mean, this is a program that has gone to the state playoffs, on a regular basis under Miller.
I just thought they'd be better. They were so young last year. You bring everybody back, you would just think they would steamroll people, and it hasn't been that way.
No. I mean, they lost some good players last year. In fairness to Coach Miller, but they have to win this game because. More than likely, they're going to lose to Catholic Central. If they lose this week and they lose next week, playoffs are out the window.
Waterford's averaging 30 points per game. How many points a game do you think Catholic Central is averaging?
Don't tell me. I'll say 38.
Out of money. 38.0.
30, there you go.
38. That is crazy.
Yeah.
26 of the 32 touchdowns have been on the ground. I mean, those are just eye-popping numbers. Catholic Central definitely looks like the team to beat.
Again, we were just talking about Waterford having that nice combination of a stout defense, explosive offense. Same for Catholic Central.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the packages on both sides of the ball.
And Aldrich is just a fantastic coach, too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And
someday
we're going to go into depth on his program because it is remarkable.
He is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. Steve Sparky, Fifer from the Wendy's Big Show. AM 1250, 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee from 2 to 6 in the afternoon weekdays. We'll talk to you next time here at RacineSportsZone.com.